Good evening. I'd like to announce the publication of my first novella, titled Murder at the Reactor. To give you all a taste of what it is, I'd like to read the prologue for all of you. Joe pulled into work. It was the same turn he had made at least 7,000 times by last estimate. Things hadn't changed much since he had come in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 20. Except the plants had gone from 2 units to 9. The rail cars were definitely fancier, as were the computers, and there were a lot more people around. Okay, so a lot had changed, but still, it's the same old plant. He stopped at the gate to badge into the parking lot. Another new thing after some punk engineer's truck got stolen last year. But it made sense. He parked and got out, stretching from his steel-toed boots to the blue Nomex collar that was worn and threadbare, but still serviceable. Joe's mustache had gone stark white, but at least he still had all his hair. Count your blessings. 4 o'clock in the morning was a restful time to get to work. That at least was a constant. Joe badged in and walked through the turnstile. He contentedly ambled down to the control room in the warm May dark before dawn, lit by sodium yellow lights. He still operated Train 1, same as he had since before his boss had been born. Entering through the blast door, his joints creaked as he sat down in the same chair he's always sat to do shift change. Looking over the logs, checking out the production schedule, he was relieving Daniel. Dan was a good kid, fresh out of the army. He had adapted well to plant life and the constant 12-hour day-night shifting schedule. The morning ritual was out of the way. Joe grabbed his hard hat and earplugs and stepped out of the control room, looking at his 100-foot-tall steel babies, casually pumping thousands of gallons of liquid ethylene in a giant loop, churning out plastic pellets. When he was here, he still felt young. Well, at least he didn't feel so old. While the younger crew always teased him about retirement, Joe never thought twice about it. He had spent a quarter of his life here, for over 2/3 of the time he'd been on Earth. This was his home, more than any place else in the world. Well, stroke of 5 hit, time to get to work. Joe always went to the least pleasant place first, the sewage digester. One downside of such an old plant is that it predated the city's sewer, and they had to do it themselves. Well, like Mama's always said, someone's got to do it, and you're someone. Walk around the gravel, check the bleach strip, make sure nothing's overflowing, listen to blowers, check for problems, turn valves to make sure they weren't clogged. These things really took care of themselves. Then something caught his eye. Beneath the grate at the outlet of the digester, something moved oddly. It was hard to see with the odd angle of light. He took out his flashlight and shined down, expecting to see a plastic bag, already dreading that he had to get the net. However, it was a bright red sleeve, caught in the outlet of the twisting current of the digester. A hand was visible, sticking out of the water. Joe froze. He might have yelled. He might have screamed. He could never recall later. His only clear memory of that hideous moment was the stray unbidden thought that retirement might be a good idea after all. And so that's the end of the prologue. If you like it, check out Murder at the Reactor on Amazon, available on Kindle. And thanks for listening.